Welcome to the next project. Today we're doing a guitar kit. Again, it's been a while, hasn't it? We have a big box from www.guitarkit.shop, which is Pango Music. This is an Explorer style kit given to me by my sweetie, so thank you very much, sweetie. We're going to take a look at this, and this is probably the closest thing I've done to a pointy guitar, even though Explorers are kind of blunt edge pointy. But, got to start somewhere. Well, let's open the box, take a look inside, and then put this thing together as we start the next project. It's just about time to do another kit, isn't it? Long overdue, in fact. Well, here we go. We have a Pango Music Explorer Kit, which is actually pretty nice. I received this from my sweetheart. I thank you again, sweetheart. Very nice of you. I'm taking it out of the box, checking everything over, and overall it looks really good. The flame maple veneer that's on the body looks nice. Good book match seam. No glue showing through between the seam. That's nice. The neck has a nice feel. Oh, and also neither the body nor the neck have any finish on them whatsoever. I mean, nothing. They are raw wood, so if you get this, wash your hands good. Keep your hands dry. No oily fingerprints, no eating greasy pizza while you're handling this thing. This has some interesting looking pickups in it. They're sealed, kind of like a EMG style, soaked in epoxy kind of stuff. So I don't know what they are. We're going to maybe pull them out and test them here. See what they have. I did check for the resistance rating on them, and so I'll show that maybe later. Going over all the parts, everything looks really good. This is a little weird. Those two knobs almost look alike. Close enough. I was impressed by the tuners. They are very solid. The string shaft doesn't wobble at all. Good even rotation of the tuner buttons. So that's nice. I dropped the tuners in and I noticed that two of the holes didn't quite line up, so I did have to make some adjustments. I had to bore out two of the holes, slightly oversized. And you do have to drill some holes in this too for the locking screw that keeps the tuner from rotating. So you will need a drill bit. I used a 1/16 inch drill bit, ran pilot holes in. Pre-threaded all of the holes, put a little bit of wax on the thread of the screw and screwed them all in. Everything's good. $10mm socket to tighten things up from the top. Here we are. We've got two unmarked pickups, so you don't really know which is the neck and which is the bridge. But we're guessing based on the bevel of the mounting ring. And also I did check the resistance rating, so I kind of had that sorted out. But, if you're just looking at them and weren't thinking about things like that, you might go, I don't know which one goes where. So anyway, the shallower pickup ring goes toward the neck, the thicker pickup ring goes toward the bridge. Fish all the wires through the holes, and then screw it together, right? Well, not quite. There are no screw holes drilled for the mounting rings. Again, pretty simple, but you should know. So I dropped the pickups in place, used a pencil to mark the location for the mounting holes. Again, used a 1/16 inch drill bit. Did some shallow holes for all of the pickup mounting screws. And that's about it. So we're going to put the neck in next, and nice thing is the holes in the neck and in the body both line up with each other. It looks like they had an actual template set up and drilled everything where it needed to be. That was very nice. I am running a drill bit through all of the holes in the body just so the screw doesn't bind in the body before it gets to the neck. So I opened those up just a hair so the screw would just barely slide through. The chrome on the mounting plate is very nice. No pits, no scratches, just a nice little mounting plate. Putting everything in, giving it a final tweak of tightness here. Very pleased with this kit at this point. Everything lines up. That's good. Again, no finish on the body. Keep your hands clean. The fit there is really nice. Great. Now we're dropping the pickups back in. We're going to be ready for the next step. Getting ready to put the screws into the pickup rings here, and when you get this kit, all the screws for the whole guitar are in like one bag. So you will need to kind of sort through and figure out what screws you need for what particular part of the guitar you're working on. Here we know we needed 8 screws, and so we just sorted through it and found 8 that were the same and used all of those. Using a power drill to start the screws, I'll finish them off by hand later, but it's pretty easy. It's a reasonably soft body wood, so everything went together very well here. So already starting to look like a guitar. It's going to be pretty exciting. Be able to attempt to learn how to play here again pretty soon. That'll be nice. It'd be nice if I actually knew how to play. I should spend some time practicing, perhaps. Maybe tomorrow. We are having a pretty good day so far, and now it is time to start installing the posts, or the inserts for the posts, for this Tune-o-matic style bridge and also the stop tailpiece. So the bridge and the tailpiece. And now I'll be grabbing a wooden dowel. It could be used a wooden block or something like that, and driving the post, going back and forth, driving the post down into the body. And the reason I left the bridge on the post at this point is so I'd be sure that the post went in square, straight up and down. I don't want to accidentally hit one of the posts and have it lean and either deform the hole it's going into or just get it to where the bridge won't slide back on. Before we can install the inserts for the posts for the stop tailpiece, we need a ground wire running to one of the post holes for the stop tailpiece. So I had to grab the wad of wires and find a couple ground wires that are almost the same length. One will be for the output jack and the other one will be going to the stop tailpiece post. So I'll try to, like I said, include a diagram that will give you an idea of what you're going to need to do and where things might need to go. Here I'm cutting away a couple inches of excess wire for that ground lead, stripping off, probably leaving a ½ inch of wire sticking out, and tinning it thoroughly, that whole end. I don't want those wires fraying, so I'm going to push the wire back down into the hole and leave the tinned part hanging down into the drilled hole for the insert. So it will make contact when the insert is driven in. Again, using my dowel and driving the posts down in and checking the fit, and the stop tail piece fits perfectly. Looking good. Oh, we can almost play it. We are going to take a quick look at putting the electronics in this guitar. It's not terribly difficult, but there are no instructions with the kit. I did run into one little problem, as the output jack plate appears to be made for a body shape like a Les Paul, which is a little more round at the back rather than the slightly shallower, flatter curve that's on the back of the Explorer. So I did modify it a little bit. I put a couple of blocks in there and tapped it flat, or flatter. Added the screws. Now I'm doing all my soldering inside of the guitar body. You don't have to do that. There aren't long enough leads on the pickups that you could have most of this laying out next to the body or on the body. Be careful and protect the body so you don't accidentally splatter solder on it or hit it with your soldering iron. Use your best judgment. If you don't have good judgment, ask somebody else what they would do. Maybe they have better judgment. What I'm doing inside the body could be a little risky for some people, so again, use your best judgment and try to learn from the experience. Have fun above all else. Here I have kind of a springy kind of little tweezers. They help quite a bit. I also have some heat sink little clips that I put on to help with things. You don't need that stuff. You will need a soldering iron and some solder though, and a drill bit because they didn't pre-drill for the cover. Luckily, the wiring for this guitar is rather simple, but if you've never done it before, it can be a little confusing initially. There will be two black leads that are soldered to the back of the volume pot that are loose. One will go to the bridge ground, the other will need to be soldered to the output jack. As for the pickups, they're not marked. One pickup has a yellow main lead, the other has a red. In my case, the yellow lead was for the neck pickup. Within each of these yellow and red main leads, there'll be a bare wire, which is your ground. In my case, I soldered that to the back of the volume pot. That will leave two white wires remaining from the main leads. One will solder to one side of the switch, the other white wire will solder to the other side of the switch. When testing, if your switch throw seems to be in the opposite direction you were expecting, you can swap the two white hot wires from the pickups around. Or you can also turn the entire switch 180 degrees and get the same result. Things are moving along pretty good. I've got the neck mounted to the body. The pickups are dropped in at the moment. I was ready to button it up because I'm really excited. I love putting stuff like this together. But then I realized I should check the neck alignment, not only to the body, but to the bridge. So I know if the projected string path across the top of the frets will hit low on the bridge, be just where I want it, or if the strings would be way high and I'd have to adjust the bridge or lower the neck to bring the string action down. I hope that makes sense. So a number of ways to do it. You could string it up and figure it out. You could put some like fishing line between the nut and the bridge to figure it out. You could use various straight edge options to figure it out. A lot of options. There's as many ways to do it as there are people doing it probably. I have a 6x6 carbon fiber rod, which again, could be about anything. Put this on the fingerboard across the top of the frets. Carbon fiber rests on the frets, and then we'll project out past the end of the fingerboard and either contact the bridge, we'll hit just the top of the bridge, or be over the bridge. I did put this on this neck and we're looking really good. Now there could still be some string action or string height issues once this is all done, even though the bridge appears to be in the right place. Not necessarily string action to the bridge, nor anything to do with the nut in relation to the bridge. So this is just fret projection to the bridge. As we continue the next project. So I've stretched the heck out of the strings like 3 or 4 or 5 times, also stretched between the nut and the tuners, just trying to make sure these strings are stretched. Gave the guitar a quick chromatic run up and down, a few chords. Now I'm going to do understring, under tension leveling. I did not do a flat leveling on this because I ran a rocker over it and they were all pretty close. And again, I want to keep practicing and trying and experimenting different ways of doing things. Yes, I do believe in a flat neck leveling of the frets, but I also like seeing what I can do in situations where that maybe isn't an option. So this is a perfect time to experiment. Here I'm using the Rectify Master Katana, which is an understring, under tension leveling device, which you can use with the neck relief flattened out, or if there is relief in the neck, for whatever reason, you can adjust this tool to pretty much fit the relief of the neck and knock down any high frets that you may have. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I think I had between 3 and 5 thousandths relief in the neck, so pretty flat. Think the thickness of a piece of like typing paper, laser paper, something like that, pretty thin. Working back and forth not only with the direction of the string, but also kind of a diagonal hatch pattern. Checking the work as I go in between, spreading the strings apart, looking at things, looking for where the high frets are. And again, this process, I keep experimenting with it. I'm very happy with the results I get from doing this kind of thing. Yes, flat leveling can give you some great results, but sometimes when you string a guitar up, get the neck under tension, frets do things, the wood does things, the world is not perfect. So now I'm doing more testing. I've grabbed my big box of fret files. I've got the Stumac centered Z file, which I really don't like. Putting a little bit of 3-in-1 oil, cutting fluid, basically, lubricant on the diamond coating. Here I'm using the Fret Guru Diamond Dagger 2, testing it out again. I just keep going through the box of tools. Here's the Fret Guru Dagger. This is a cut tooth steel file, and it was working really well. These are nickel frets, and it cuts these very, very well. You do have to clean the file quite often, though, probably about 2 or 3 times per fret, because the fret filing debris that comes off sticks in the teeth pretty bad. This is a Tascam steel cut tooth file. I've used it in a video I did some time ago. Here's a 3-corner file or a triangular file. Going through everything, just seeing what I like and what I don't like. And honestly, I quit using the 3-corner file a long time ago, and this reminded me why. It works. It's just not all that much fun. I like having fun. I reached into my bag of tricks and found the Music Nomad S file once again, and I actually kept using it, trying to find some love. And here I'm following up using the Tascam file to do what the Music Nomad S file really didn't want to do. And at the end of the day, I went back over everything with the Fret Guru Diamond Dagger 2 file to really bring everything into a crown. Now, again, with the diamond coated files, I do use cutting fluid or 3-in-1 oil. With the steel tooth files, I don't use any oil with those. Running along the edges, gently rounding the fret ends here. This does have binding on the neck, so you don't have to worry about the fret tang sticking out. But we are rounding over the ends of the frets just a little bit, which actually felt pretty good. The factory did a good job of having these cut back and angled very nicely. Doing a little polish sanding, I call it. This is actually a step between your leveling, your recrowning, and polishing. So this is what I do in between all of that. I have for a long time used my fingers, just fold up a piece of paper and grip the paper and sand file marks out of the frets. But my hands always cramp up and I'm just getting old and cranky. So I've been working on this tool. I call it the Grip. This is version 19, the green one here. Very similar to 17 and 18, just changed the way the paper roll fits in the body of it a little bit. And it works really well. I did use 800 grit paper, then went back over everything with 1200 grit paper. And then I was ready for some Motherly Love, which is Mother's Mag Polish. It's just a metal polishing compound. Wipe a little bit on and use a rotary tool, a Dremel type tool with a wool pad on the end, and polish the frets up super shiny. Now, I typically tape off fingerboards, but I was pretty darn lazy and in a bit of a hurry. So I just use these little fret protectors. They're a stainless steel thin sheet that has a slit in the middle that fits right over the frets. And when I use these, I always put tape on them because the sides and edges of these little fret protectors can scratch a fingerboard. So just wrap it in like painter's tape or masking tape, whatever you have, and that will protect the fingerboard. And everything's polished up. It looks really good. Very shiny. Hitting everything with some, Howard's Feed and Wax, I think it's called. It's kind of a furniture polish. It's an oil and a wax mixture. I used it years ago. I think I worked for a fellow who used it when he was making picture frames or something like that, and I've been using it for this kind of thing ever since. I have used, lemon oil. Had some bad experiences with that, so I don't really go back. I do have some Music Nomad material. I should try that out, and I haven't used it yet. Going through, we're going to cut the string slots in the nut down to a livable dimension. Here are the dimensions of how it came out of the box, really high. Well, we're doing some work on the nut, cutting the string slots deeper so we have a nice, uniform, predictable, measurable distance of string spacing at the first fret. And I'm using feeler gauges for this step. This is still kind of getting closer to where it will be in the end, but it's probably as far as it's going to go with this initial setup. But I'm going from 13 thousandths at the high E to 18 thousandths at the low, the bass E. So in steps, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, using feeler gauges for this. What else? Next, we're going to also be tuning it, or retuning it, checking the neck relief. I have a neck relief gauge around here somewhere. We're going to get that adjusted to where we want it. We will then figure out if we need to change the string action at the bridge. I really can't go any lower at this point. The bridge is decked. It's bottomed out to the body. I can go up. Then we'll do quick intonation, and this guitar will be ready to get torn apart and modified. One thing I did notice as I'm cleaning up the nut is it's a hard plastic material of some sort. I'm calling it plastic. I really don't know what it is. When I file it, it's coming off in a powdery form, not like plastic. When you shave it, it kind of has a different texture. But this is very fine, black, powdery dust, almost like it's a composite nut of some sort. I don't know what it is, really. Pango Music might let us know. But it's actually pretty good hard material for whatever it is. All right. Enough talking. Let's get back to the next project. Well, everybody, we've wrapped up the Pango Music Explorer Kit. It went pretty well overall. You will need a drill and some bits because there are a few places that need holes that aren't in the body, like pickup mounting rings, the output jack plate, stuff like that. Truss rod cover, I did not put it on. That's coming in the future when this guitar goes to the next project mod shop. The two control knobs look alike, but they're a little bit different. Not the same. The bridge is probably a candidate for replacement. While it works and it looks nice, the components are a little bit loose. Might want to replace it in time. Nice chunk of body material, nice flamed maple veneer. The neck is nice. I'm guessing it's some species or subspecies or relative of a species of wood. I don't know what it is. But it's straight, it's solid. The truss rod works. The fingerboard is made out of something that's stained black. I don't know what it is. Inlays look good. The frets are nickel. I did level everything and give it a level crown polish, so they're pretty good now. Pretty low action, just a hair over 1 millimeter on the low E, and right at 1 millimeter, maybe a hair under on the high E. Nice kit. Prices go up and down. Are there tariffs today? I don't know. Who knows? I want to thank you very much for hanging out with me through this project. It's been fun putting a kit together. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. Ring the bell for future notifications or whatever that does. Give it a thumbs up. Let YouTube know you like this kind of stuff. Leave a comment. I love hearing from everybody and what you got going on. If you've got one of these kits and you've had good luck or bad luck or whatever, that will be nice to hear and also help other people who maybe are interested. What else? There's probably more. Anyway, take care of yourself and those around you. Until next time, bye.